You've read the quotes, you've seen the reels, you've heard people say, think and grow rich. But no one ever tells you the whole story. There's something Napoleon Hill didn't write, a principle so raw, so demanding, that most people would ignore it even if he had. It's not written in any book. It's not printed in any chapter. It's hidden between the lines of every lesson he ever taught. Hill spent 25 years studying over 500 of the most successful men in America: Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Rockefeller. He broke down their habits, their mindset, their daily discipline, and from that, he built the foundation of modern success thinking. But there was one truth too heavy to print, a truth that could not be taught, only lived. That truth is sacrifice. Hill spoke about desire, faith, persistence, imagination, but none of those matter if you're still protecting your comfort. Every dream has a price, and the universe collects it in full. People want success, but they want it on sale. They want growth without pain, freedom without risk, progress without change. That's why Hill left this part unsaid, because the secret isn't found in his words, it's found in your willingness to suffer for something greater. The real formula is simple: trade comfort for clarity. Every time you step out of your safety, your vision sharpens. Every early morning, every late night, every time you do what others avoid, you're proving to yourself that you mean what you say. You can't manifest your dream while protecting your comfort zone. You can't build greatness with soft habits. Hill didn't want followers. He wanted doers, people who would read his words, then go into the world and live them. So when you ask, what's the secret principle Hill never wrote about? Here it is: you must give up who you are to become who you could be. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Everyone repeats that line, but few ever understand it. Because belief is not built in peace, it's forged in chaos. You don't develop faith when life is easy. You build it when life breaks you, when everything goes wrong, when you're tired, when you're broke, when you've failed 10 times in a row. That's when faith is born. Faith isn't a sentence, it's a fight. It's getting up when your body says stay down. It's pushing when the world tells you it's pointless. It's standing in the fire, trusting there's gold in the pain. Hill hinted at it when he said, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But that seed doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in heat. It grows when you're tested, when your will is cracked, and your soul whispers, keep going. This is the faith he couldn't describe, not because he didn't know it, but because it can't be written. It has to be lived. You can't learn it from a lecture or a book. You learn it when everything collapses and you still refuse to quit. David Goggins calls it the battle in the mirror. Hill called it self-discipline. Both mean the same thing: the war between who you are and who you must become. Faith isn't believing when you see results. It's believing until they come. You say you believe, then prove it. Keep working, keep moving, keep fighting, because the only real faith that exists is the one that keeps walking through fire. Comfort feels good, doesn't it? The soft bed, the easy routine, the safe job, the quiet evenings where nothing challenges you. That's the trap. Comfort slowly kills your hunger. It makes you forget that you once had fire inside you. It replaces your dreams with distractions. Think about it. Every time you choose comfort over discomfort, you reinforce weakness. You hit snooze instead of getting up. You avoid hard conversations. You quit when it gets tough. Each time, your mind records that behavior and it becomes your new identity. You start calling it peace or balance, but deep down you know it's fear. Napoleon Hill warned about this in Think and Grow Rich. He said most people drift through life because they never make a definite decision. They want success, but they want it to be easy. They wait for the perfect time, but it never comes. Meanwhile, their potential slowly fades. The comfort zone doesn't feel dangerous, but it's where dreams die quietly. You stop taking risks. You stop trying. You stop growing. One day you look in the mirror and realize the person staring back at you is living far below their potential. The truth is, greatness demands discomfort. Growth begins the moment you step outside what feels safe. When you choose to push through pain, you start building a new version of yourself, one that doesn't depend on comfort to feel alive. That's why the strongest people in the world seek challenge deliberately. They wake up early when others sleep. They push their bodies when others rest. They face rejection, failure, and pain not because they enjoy suffering, but because they know that's where transformation happens. Every hardship, every sleepless night, every difficult choice, it all shapes your character. The world doesn't remember those who played it safe. It remembers those who dared to step into the unknown. So ask yourself right now, are you choosing comfort or are you choosing growth? Because you can't have both. One will cost you your potential, the other will cost you your excuses. And if you're serious about becoming the person you were meant to be, then comfort must die today. Not tomorrow, not when it's easier. Today, the real battle isn't out there. It's in your mind. Every day, from the moment you wake up, two voices start talking. One tells you to rise, to move, to fight for the life you want. The other whispers that you're tired, that it's fine to take it easy, that maybe success isn't meant for you. That second voice is your enemy. It's the silent killer of potential. It feeds you comfort disguised as logic. It tells you you've done enough, when deep down you know you haven't even started. Napoleon Hill called this the drifting mind. He said most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they allow their thoughts to drift aimlessly. They have no control over what enters or stays in their mind. They let fear, doubt, and excuses run the show. And when the mind is uncontrolled, life becomes a reflection of that chaos. Every great achievement begins with one thing, a decision. Not a wish, not a hope, but a clear, burning decision that nothing will stop you. Once you decide, your mind starts to obey. You stop arguing with your emotions. You stop waiting to feel ready. You act. But here's the truth no one likes to admit. Your mind will fight back. The moment you commit to change, resistance will hit harder than ever. Old habits will try to pull you back. Your brain will crave comfort, distraction, and validation. It will find every reason to make you quit. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline isn't about motivation, it's about training your mind to act according to your goals, not your feelings. You win the war inside by mastering your thoughts, by refusing to believe every emotion that passes through you. When that inner voice says, I can't, answer it with, I will. When it says, I'm tired, remind it, you've been tired before and you still made it. When it says, what's the point, respond, the point is becoming who I said I would be. This battle never ends. Even the most successful people fight it every single day. The difference is they don't let the weak voice decide their future. You have that same power, the power to command your thoughts, to silence doubt, to reprogram your mind into a weapon of purpose. Every time you win a small battle, waking up early, saying no to distractions, staying focused, you take back control from the enemy within. The war inside your mind is the hardest one you'll ever fight, but if you win it, nothing outside you can defeat you. Every person you've ever admired, every legend, every self-made success story paid a price. Not in money, not in luck, but in pain. Pain is the currency of transformation. It's the toll gate between who you are and who you want to become. Most people turn back when they feel it. The few who rise walk straight through it. Napoleon Hill said, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. He wasn't being poetic. He meant that pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. When you're in pain, life is shaping you, testing how much you truly want what you say you want. Think about it. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when you're uncomfortable, when you're stretched, when you're exhausted and still moving forward. The gym of life doesn't build you through comfort, it builds you through resistance. Every struggle adds weight to your strength, but here's where most people fail. They think pain is a sign to stop. They feel discomfort and assume something is wrong, The truth, pain means progress. It means you're breaking limits. It means you're rewriting the story that's kept you small. You can't reach greatness without sacrifice. You can't demand power and refuse the process that builds it. Every long night, every lonely morning, every failure that cuts deep, those are the bricks of your foundation. They're shaping your resilience, your focus, your hunger. Pain doesn't destroy you. Avoiding pain does, because when you run from discomfort, you also run from growth. You choose safety over potential. And safety might feel good now, but it costs you everything later. When life hits you, don't ask why me, ask, what is this teaching me? Every setback, every heartbreak, every rejection carries a lesson. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's humility, maybe it's mental toughness, but it always gives you something if you're willing to listen. That's why warriors are built in the dark. They don't wait for the perfect day or the right feeling. They embrace pain like a forge. They let it burn away their weakness until only strength remains. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember this. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's the fire that purifies you, the test that proves you deserve the power you're chasing. Power isn't handed to you. It's earned through sweat, sacrifice, and the moments that break others but build you. Every second you endure what others avoid, you move closer to the life most people will never touch. You either suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, but one of them is guaranteed. The question is, which one will you choose? Faith, the one word Napoleon Hill repeated more than any other. He called it the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the unseen power that moves mountains before the world even believes they can be moved. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Faith only matters when fear is loud. It's easy to believe when everything is going right, when doors open, when people clap, when success feels close enough to touch. But faith is tested when everything collapses, when no one sees your vision, when every plan falls apart, when your heart whispers, maybe it's not meant for me. That's where real faith begins. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief isn't built by comfort. It's built by resistance, by nights where you talk to yourself more than you sleep, by days where every step feels like walking through mud. It's in those moments that the average person gives up and the uncommon person digs deeper. Faith is choosing to move forward even when your logic screams stop. It's looking at the storm and saying, you can't break me. It's trusting that if you keep walking, something greater will meet you on the road, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. Fear is a liar. It paints disaster in your mind before it ever happens. It tells you you're not ready, not worthy, not capable, but fear has one weakness: it disappears when faced with action. You can't outthink fear, you have to outmove it. One small action at a time. Every legend started with fear. Every dreamer started uncertain. What separates them from the rest isn't that they had no fear, it's that they acted anyway. They turned their fear into fuel. You have two choices every day: feed your fear or feed your faith. Whatever you feed grows. When you feed fear, you stay stuck. When you feed faith, you start rising. You begin seeing things before they exist. You speak success before it happens. That's how the invisible becomes real. Faith doesn't mean everything will go your way. It means you'll keep going anyway. It means that when the lights go out and the noise fades, you still believe in the fire burning inside you. The world doesn't reward doubt, it rewards conviction. The energy of belief is magnetic. It attracts the right people, the right moments, the right opportunities. That's why the first law of success isn't action, it's faith. Action is only powerful when driven by belief. Faith is the root. Fear is the weed. You can't grow both. You have to decide what you'll water. So when life shakes you, when your dream feels impossible, when fear crawls into your chest, smile. It means you're close. It means the test has begun. And if you keep your faith stronger than your fear, You'll not only survive the storm, you'll rise because of it, because faith isn't about seeing the path. It's about taking the first step when you can't. There's a truth Napoleon Hill hinted at, but never fully wrote, a principle so powerful it could outlive every other lesson he ever taught. It's the law of legacy. The idea that your purpose isn't just to win in your lifetime, but to leave something that continues after you're gone. Hill's greatest message wasn't get rich. It was become someone worth remembering. Wealth fades, titles fade, but your impact, how you made people feel, what you stood for, what you built when no one believed, that's what endures. Most people live like time is infinite. They chase comfort, approval, short-term pleasure. They forget that every sunrise is a countdown, but the ones who rise beyond average understand something deeper. You're not here to simply exist. You're here to imprint, to carve meaning into the world before the clock runs out. Legacy doesn't come from what you have, it comes from what you give. It's built in the moments no one sees, the late nights when you keep working, the quiet choices to stay honest, the battles you fight inside yourself and win silently. Those invisible victories shape who you become, and who you become shapes what you leave behind. Napoleon Hill spent decades studying the minds of the world's greatest thinkers, Edison, Carnegie, Ford, and what he discovered was this: they all lived by a mission bigger than themselves. That's the secret principle he never wrote. Success means nothing without service. Power means nothing without purpose. You want to be remembered, then live with intention. Speak words that build. Take actions that inspire. Be the reason someone else doesn't give up. That's legacy, not fame, not fortune, but influence born from character. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, truth over popularity, growth over ease, you're writing your legacy. Every moment you push past your limits, every time you refuse to break, you're proving that greatness still exists in a world addicted to shortcuts. And one day, when your story is told, they won't talk about your cars, your house, your followers, they'll talk about your spirit. The fire that never quit, the faith that never faded, the man or woman who stood unshaken in the storm and still built something beautiful out of struggle. That's the unwritten law, the one Napoleon Hill lived by but never named. The principle that true success isn't measured by what you gain, but by what you give back. So when the lights go out and the noise fades, and no one's watching, ask yourself one question: what will remain when I'm gone? Because the answer to that is your real success story. And that, my friend, is the secret principle Napoleon Hill never wrote about.